What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is New Year's Day 2025. So happy New Year's to each and every one of you out there. Hopefully it is going to be a fantastic year for all of you, and I'm hoping that you didn't get too toasty last night and that you can come and watch the Beer Patrol review somewhat sober, or maybe you want to be just a little bit buzzed. I don't know. It's the Beer Patrol. You tell me. But anyway, yeah, we're bringing in the new year, you could say, with a beer that is kind of a bucket list beer for me. It also happens to be the 11th and final holiday beer for the 2024-2025 season. This is where I usually say for the month of December 2024, but it's January 1st. We're in January now, so I don't say that. And it's a beer that I feel invokes the holiday spirit, today being January 1st, because it is a beer that is technically called a winter ale. But anyway, the beer that I'm reviewing today once again comes from the Deschutes Brewery, and they are out of Bend, Oregon, and this is their Jubelale, the 2024 release. So they are calling this one a Festive Winter Ale that comes in at 6.7% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just under 3 months old. So when I say that this is a bucket list beer to some degree, it is. I've had a lot of Deschutes beers over the year. This is plural, not just over the years. And I never had this one. I've actually had like the barrel-aged imperialized version of this called Jubel. I actually had that back in like 2015 or 16, really good, but never had this one. And what this basically is an old school winter warmer. They actually have some information here on the side. It says tasting notes. They give, out of 5, roast 2 out of 5, bitter 2 out of 5, toffee 3 out of 5, and fruit 3 out of 5. We'll just read what they say here. Whatever, it's tasting notes. It's basically an old school like English winter warmer, core 4 ingredients. I don't think there's any actual spices in here, but it says embrace the comforting warmth of this of tradition with this festive winter ale, embodying the spirit of celebration since 1988. Jubelale features notes of spice, a robust malt character, hints of toffee, and dusted cocoa. So that's kind of what you expect, I feel, from the English winter warmers. They let the spices come from the hops for the most part. The malts produce the caramel, the toffee, the dusted cocoa powder. And I've actually mentioned that in other reviews this holiday season. Again, I couldn't find for sure if they do or if they don't brew this one with spices. I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know if they've ever changed the recipe. I don't think they have. I think they just allow the spice to come from the actual hops. I could be wrong, so if I am, please correct me in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Also, I'm using the Deschutes glass from their holiday gift pack from I think last year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember when I got this, but it has Marcel on there. He's got his Santa hat on, and I was just like, you know what? I want to use this glass today. I don't have a Deschutes glass. I don't want to use the Homer Simpson, his cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, because I've used that quite a bit. So we're just using this. We're gonna give it a pour here. I'm gonna go a little aggressive though, because I want to generate a decent head. I've succeeded. About 2, almost 3 fingers. And honestly, I know it doesn't matter, but I'm glad this isn't a bottle. I picture this beer being in a bottle for whatever reason. That's just kind of what I'm picturing. So again, not the perfect glass to get a good look to it, but this looks like so many of the other winter warmers. The Nutcracker Ale from Boulevard, the Christmas Ale from Schlafly, the review you probably saw yesterday from Narragansett just has this like kind of amberish, deep caramel copper color. You could even say mahogany or red. It just has that like deep color to it. This has a good clarity, but you're not going to see it because it's so dark. About a finger and a half of this really, I'd say that's more of a straight on darker tan colored head. Like it's not like beige. It's not khaki. It's a little bit darker than that, I think. So yeah, it looks really nice. You could already see the glass lacing at the top forming. And in the hashtag definitely not proper glassware, it looks fantastic. Let's get a dose. Yes, I mean, again, I think I'm going to just like kind of compare everything to the Nutcracker Ale from Boulevard when this happens, because that's the first one I reviewed this year. I believe that was just straight up English winter warmer. And this just has that same quality to it, man. It's very malt driven. And again, it has the toffee, it has the caramel, it has the dusted cocoa powder. You could say like, like a 60-70% cacao bar. It's just like an unsweetened kind of cocoa powder. There's a little bit of brown sugar, toasted brown bread is what I've been saying a lot, and I feel like that's what this is, toasted brown bread for sure. It has the fruitcake vibe from the fact that the base malt kind of tastes like you would have the actual base cake of a fruitcake. If I'm sure a lot of you don't like fruitcake. I'm real old, pretty old. And I never liked fruitcake till I was an adult. And now every year I probably have a piece or two, and I enjoy it in small amounts. Like, it's not something that I would eat all the time, but when the holiday season hits, give me a fruitcake. Really, I'll have a piece or two. There is a fruitiness here that's more of like, again, I'm going to sound like a record book reviewing so many of the similar styles, but this is, again, dark cherry, a little bit of prune, plum. You could pretty much say any dark fruit, and I wouldn't disagree with you. A little bit of like a zesty kind of like citrus peel. And then the hops are earthy, a little bit floral, and just really nice. Man, just old school winter warmers. Like, I have love for both, the English and the American style. Yeah, if you threw some spices in here, I'd still like it. Like, if you were just like, oh, this is one cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger or whatever, yeah. If I could smell those, I'd be all about it. But the fact that this doesn't have any spices, and now I say that, and hang on, let me go back. It does have like a little bit of like a spicy hop character, which is where a lot of times the spices come from in these. So yeah, it has like a spicy, earthy, floral kind of sensation in the aroma. It smells really good for what it's supposed to be. I don't think it's gonna like, do anything different than a lot of just well-made and well-constructed English winter warmers typically do, but that's what I want this beer to be. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and here's to hopefully a fantastic 2025 for all of us. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, okay, so that's like a spicy kind of hop character, for sure. That's more pronounced than the Boulevards, no doubt. There is definitely a warming going down. It's only 6.7%, but I even get a little bit of warming in the chest. This is not one of those beers that hides the alcohol well, and I've noticed that from a lot of these winter warmers. But it makes sense because they do want it to be a warming beer. That's the whole point of a winter warmer, warming you up in the winter. And this does a great job making you feel warmer with each sip. Like, I just took that sip, and man, there's no electricity on the palate. Don't confuse that with like the warming sensation. But as it goes down, like through the esophagus and the stomach, it's just a warming that goes through me. And it's only 6.7%, so that's pretty cool. Body and mouthfeel. Body's higher side of medium, 6.7%, really nice. Very similar to the beer from Narragansett yesterday, where it's not imperialized, but it has an imperialized kind of body. So this is like higher side medium, maybe approaching low full. Really nice. The mouthfeel, good carbonation, mild to moderately carbonated. It's pretty crisp on the palate, but it's softer than anticipated, and it also has this smooth, somewhat creamy sensation on the palate too, which makes it a bit better. And so many of these beers have awesome glass lacing, and you'll see it again. Fantastic glass lacing. The taste, the nose carried over for the most part. Again, first thing that actually hits me at the tip of the tongue is toasted brown bread. And then it transitions into like almost like a little bit of like a molasses cookie. Not quite getting like straight on ginger, but like the base molasses cookie. There's a touch of toffee and caramel, a little bit of that dusted cocoa powder, maybe even a light hit of a coffee, like a lightly roasted coffee. And then right after that, dark cherry and plum are the two dark fruits that I'm really getting. And then on the finish, it's earthy, has a floral kind of spicy character to it. Definitely a hop character. This is mild to moderately bitter. More approaching moderately bitter. I think it's a little bit more bitter than the Nutcracker Ale from Boulevard and for some others I've had in the style. So this is a good balance because this is very malt driven as a whole, but right up front, there's a lot of malty goodness and you feel like, oh man, this might be a little bit too sweet. Nah, that almost approaching moderate bitterness with that slightly floral, spicy, earthy character from the hops really stops it dead in its tracks. This does have a semi-dry finish as well. Again, pretty well balanced as a whole. 6.7%, like I said, warming in the chest, no astringency on the palate. Really nice beer, plain and simple. This is really nice, and I dig it quite a bit. I'm glad I finally was able to kind of, knock this off my bucket list per se. I don't have a lot of seasonals or beers that are like readily available like this that are still on my bucket list, but I'd say this was one of them. There's so many beers that should be on my bucket list that probably aren't just because I'm forgetting them. This was one of those beers where until the holiday season hit, I was like, oh man, I've always wanted to try that. And now we do get Deschutes here in the Buffalo, New York area. It's very hit or miss. I have not seen this one locally. I picked this one up at Red Wine and Brew in Mentor, Ohio, because I didn't know if we would see it here in Buffalo, and I'm glad I did because I have not seen it. So, rating on the Jubelale, the 2024 release from Deschutes, I have absolutely zero issues whatsoever. Giving this a low 4.25. I'm a 4.15. I think it's a very well-constructed, tasty, festive winter ale, aka old school winter warmer. I like that it's the core 4 ingredients and that they do a really good job with it. And, 2 out of 5 roast, I would say it's more toasty than roasty. 2 out of 5 bitter, I'd maybe knock that to 3 or like 2.5. Toffee at 3 out of 5, sure, but you could throw caramel, molasses, sweeter, like caramelized sugars, and 3 out of 5 fruit. I don't think it's as fruity as that, maybe like 2 to 2.5, but I don't think they're far off, but I would just change the roast to toast. That's more toasty and less roasty for sure. So they definitely do say a robust malt character, and I would agree with that. So yeah, like I said, this is 100% a 4.15 out of 5 for me. Really good. If you get Deschutes and you haven't had this one and you like old school winter warmers where it lets the ingredients from the actual beer shine with no additives, give this a go. And if I'm wrong and there are spice notes in here, they really don't come through that strong. It's more of a spicy hop bitterness than anything else. But if there's like some ginger or cinnamon, sure, I guess I could see it. I just don't see it right now. Anyway, price point and availability. I think this was like $10.99 a 6-pack. I paid less than $2 for that bottle. I want to say it was like $1.89 or something like that. Maybe $1.79, but I would say anywhere from like $11 to $12 a 6-pack would be cool with me. It's a nice beer, 6.7%. I gave it 4.15 out of 5. A couple dollars a bottle all day, every day. And availability, I don't know with Deschutes. I'm sure they have a beer finder on their website because they are a bigger brewery. I do know you can order stuff right from their website. They ship to certain states. They do not ship to New York State, unfortunately, because they got a cool one. They do like a cherry version of this. They even with like Black Butte and Obsidian Stout, they do like a peanut butter version, but I've never seen any of those. It'd be cool to be able to buy some and have them shipped to my house from Deschutes, but New York State, nah, they don't do it. So it's not them. It's probably one of the laws or probably got to jump through hoops to get into New York State. So it is what it is. But if you have seen this one before or you've had it, let me know. Is this the same as it was, 15, 20 years ago? Because I've seen reviews of this. Like one of the first reviews, I'm trying to think, I think it was Joe D. You guys all remember Joe D? Joe D still, he does like the Share a Beer weekly show. But Joe D, I want to say he reviewed this back on like 09, 10 when I first started getting into craft beer. And I remember him being like one of the prominent beer tubers. And I remember him reviewing this one. I think he enjoyed it as well. But I've seen a lot of reviews over the years, just never seen this beer locally. We'll turn the Grinch back on at the end here for whatever reason. But it's the last time the Grinch will be on this year. So that does it for the holiday-themed beer reviews for this holiday season. I'm not saying I won't review any more holiday-themed beers, just not as a part of the the whole thing I had going in December to January 1st. We're going to bring them back next year. Maybe they'll be bigger. Maybe they'll be better. I doubt it. It's the Beer Patrol. Nothing's better, but I'll probably try to get some lights behind me. We'll see. Maybe we'll switch out the Grinch for something else. Maybe we'll get a little bit more festive. Maybe I'll change up. I'll get a new sweater. Whatever the case may be, but I really liked dressing up like this. And if you guys enjoyed the holiday season reviews, let me know. A lot of you I know were happy that I was become more festive with this. So please let me know. Did you enjoy me wearing the ugly sweater, the Santa hat, the Grinch? Would you like to see some lights? Does this get you more in the festive mood for reviews? Because I feel like if I see people doing stuff like this, I get more invested into their review. Like I get into the holiday spirit. Jonah over at 62 Beer Reviews, he does, he's been doing a lot of reviews too where I've enjoyed him. He's doing like a 12 days of December or 12 days of Christmas. And I like stuff like that. I like theme months. I like theme weeks. I like theme whatever. It just gets me in the mood for, like, that's why I do the 10 Days of Pumpkin. I like doing it around Halloween. I think it just really works well. So any feedback that you have in the comment section. Later today, this is not for sure. So if you watch to the end, you might know, or maybe a couple days ago, you probably have already seen, I'm planning on doing an all Imperial beer theme month in January 2025, where every single day I post at least one Imperialized beer review. And this obviously is not Imperialized beer. So today you'll see one. It's going to be Western New York Wednesday. So we'll see. That should happen. If not, forget what I just said in the last 30 seconds and move on. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate all the support in 2024. It was a fantastic time. We're now on to 2025, and you can expect a bunch of changes here in the Beer Patrol. Should have a new camera rolling out soon. We're going to get the theme month in January. I'm going to try to bring out Viewer's Choice Cellar Sunday. I'm going to start doing the blind beer reviews. We're going to do a lot of different stuff in 2025. Try to enhance the channel, and hopefully you guys will come along for the ride and enjoy it along with me. So I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers. Happy New Year's.